Hello.
Hi.
Can you tell us your name?
Kelsey Totino.
Okay. And what are you doing this semester? What class are you in that you're doing this for?
Circles Out of Poverty with Professor Vio.
Okay. Can you tell us what you've done here? You've taken a checklist and you're working on evaluating your hometown community. Tell us where you're from.
I grew up in a lot of different places. I moved around a lot when I was younger, so it gives me a lot more, I think, community experience. I grew up in Dallas, Texas. I moved to Jackson, Ohio. My family now lives in Spearfish, South Dakota, and that's the one I'll be evaluating. And then in May, we're moving to Louisiana, so that's another one I'll be able to add to my list. But basically, I have 3 positive things that I've taken from Spearfish. And Spearfish is also in the western side of South Dakota, and there's 2 sides to South Dakota. There's Sioux Falls side, and then there's the Rapid City side. And so we're 45 minutes away from a larger city, but it's not really a city, it's pretty small, but it has like an airport and stuff. And we're only 8 miles away from the Wyoming border, so it just kind of gives you a picture in your mind where we are. My first thing that I talked about as one of the positives for Spearfish was it's rich. And what I mean by that is that our community is very blessed because of the location, I believe, and I mean this, I don't know this for fact, but this is what I believe, because there's 2 totally different sides of the state, and there's not anything in between hardly, and the closest thing to us is the Rapid City area, which actually has, like the Targets and the malls and all of that. So with that, it gives Spearfish a lot of opportunity to be able to create their own businesses. And so, I mean, I can't really think of, there's not many of my friends or many of our family friends that don't own businesses in Spearfish, whether it's a flower shop, whether it's a chiropractic practice, or, I mean, hardware stores, whatever. So I think that's one positive. So that creates a lot of wealth and a lot of economy circulation. And then secondly, it's very handsome. And what I mean by that is it's in a beautiful part of the state. It's in the Black Hills area, and our Spearfish Canyon has been voted in the top 10 best drives of America before. I mean, it's just beautiful. And so I think that creates a lot of stimulation for people to come and to camp. If they're going to Mount Rushmore, going to Yellowstone, we're like right in between. So I think that helps. And then thirdly, because it's so handsome and because we're in such a good area, it's really interesting. There's so much stuff to do there outside of the business side. You can go tubing down the river or down a creek. There's like 3 or 4 different creeks you can go down. You can go up to Spearfish Canyon during the winter. You can go snowboarding. We have a mountain 20 minutes away from my house. You can go snowmobiling. You can go biking during the summer times. We have a lot of BMX. We have a lot of lakes out there, and so people do a lot of lake activities. So I think that's something that helps people, bring people in as well, because it looks good to move into. And then, so my 3 negative things that I would say about Spearfish is that it's not very welcoming. To me, I didn't think it was. People, unless you grow up living there, they don't necessarily treat you the best, or they're just not as like, oh yeah, come on in and let's be friends type thing. I mean, it happens for some people, but it just takes a while for you to grow up in that community and actually feel welcomed. And then 5th, with the not very welcoming, it's just not very friendly. Once you get into the community and get to know a lot more people, or after a couple of years of living there, people become a lot more friendly. Because my family really enjoys it now. But whenever we first went, we did not like it because it's just not the Southern hospitality that you see here. And then 6, because of it not being welcoming, because it's not very friendly, I believe it's a little limited. And not limited in its resources, or not limited in like their business, but just limited, I think that their attitude towards people moving in, or your class, let's say, I believe can limit them in a lot of different areas, a lot of ideas, a lot of growth possibilities. So that's about Spearfish.
Thank you, Kelsey.
You're welcome.